Quick announcement before jumping into this video. Today at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I will be having a 24-hour live stream on Twitch. So if you want to check that out, come by and hang out. I'm going to be featuring a lot of really talented content creators and top-level battlers throughout the 24 hours. Link is always down in the description to my Twitch. Now on to the video. What's up everyone, this is FB6 bringing you some more Go Battle League battles here in the Ultra Premier Cup, and in today's video I'm going to be bringing in a really fun team that I ran for a couple of sets and actually had a good amount of success with. This team, along with another team that I'll be featuring in a video, has carried me all the way through the 2800s in rating. I'm sitting right around the mid 2800s right now, and so been having a lot of success with this. Wing Attack Charizard in the lead, Kingdra as the safe swap, and Venusaur in the back. Venusaur essentially covers almost all of Charizard's weaknesses and vice versa, and Kingdra as a safe swap is still very strong. If you get that Octazooka debuff, it's ridiculous at how many matchups you can flip, and Dragon Breath damage is really great. So, and you can actually see on the screen, I now have the IVs of my Pokemon showing up there. I know I've been getting a lot of comments about that, so I will try to remember to include those in all of the videos here. But you can see my Charizard has decent PvP IVs. My Kingdra is actually a hundo, so it's not like XL or optimized for PvP, and my Venusaur has decent IVs. But let's jump right into these battles. Wing Attack on Charizard is because of matchups like this. You hit for neutral against dragons, and you're able to get to this Dragon Claw in only 5 Wing Attacks. So against a Dragonite as well, you actually outpace it. It's not that bad of a matchup. And you hit for super effective against the fighters in the lead. I know Shadow Machamp is still a very common pick in Ultra Premier, and so having something that can consistently shut that down, especially in the lead, is really nice. You're also going to be hitting for neutral against opposing fire types like Talonflame or opposing Charizards that may be running Fire Spin. So I really enjoy Wing Attack, and it has just barely better energy generation than Fire Spin, but it is pretty comparable. It's also a 2-turn fast move versus Fire Spin being a 3-turn fast move. So I have my Venusaur on Swampert there, which is really good alignment for me. Out comes Charizard. This is very unfortunate for me, and my opponent led with the Kingdra, and I threw a Dragon Claw and then made a swap, but now I have a shield advantage. We'll see what they have in the back. I'm still not in a great spot here. This is a Fire Spin Charizard. I let that Dragon Claw through because I thought I needed to call a bait as the win con, but I can't farm this Kingdra down, and their Dragon Breath did, unfortunately, too much damage to me. Potentially double Dragon Claw was the play here, but we'll see if I have enough energy to actually get to double Dragon Claw. I lagged there anyway, so if I would have shielded their Dragon Claw, potentially would have had more play there, but tough game, good game to my opponent. All right, G-Fisk in the lead. This is obviously where having Wing Attack is a little bit more difficult. G-Fisk in the lead, Magnezone in the lead. These are some difficult things to deal with, but Kingdra, as you can see, the Dragon Breath is outputting a good amount of damage. I'm going to shield this Earthquake. Octazooka will hit for super effective. Not that much damage though, but the debuff is nice. I'm over farming here a lot because if they do switch out, I want to have some residual energy to threaten them. They get a Mud Shot, and they're able to queue up their charge move, which is not great for me. Out comes Gallade, and I'm assuming whatever I throw here, my opponent will shield, so I'm just going for the Octazooka. I do get a shield, no debuff though. I'm gonna bring out my Charizard, start Wing Attacking this down. It is a Shadow Gallade, so oh my gosh, this is going to do a lot of damage with the confusion. I let that close combat go through, and they literally have enough to get another move, which was really unfortunate. Yeah, they had just one too many confusions there for my farm down plan to work, because now at this point, I'm in a very tough spot. They still have a healthy G-Fisk. They have a Venusaur on my Venusaur, so it's just not really looking good here. They even get an extra Vine Whip through here, so at this point, it's pretty much game over. I needed to be able to... If I would have got a debuff on that Gallade, I would have been able to safely farm it down there. My other play that would have put me in a decent spot is just shield up one of Gallade's moves. Shield up that close combat, And then I don't have to shield the Leaf Blade. I have energy stored coming out of that. If they come back in with the G-Fisk, I'll probably get the shield with the Blast Burn, or I could have potentially baited, but then they still have their full health Venusaur in the back. So it was going to be very tough alignment anyways, but good game to my opponent there. Alright, Alolan Golem, really bad for me. A double resist wing attack, so I'm just going to safe swap Kingdra. Alright, out comes Venusaur. This is a matchup that Kingdra can win in the 2-shield. I think I heard from someone that in the 2-shield, Kingdra wins this just straight Octazooka, but sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. I don't get the debuff on the first one, but I'm fully committed to just going straight Octazooka here because it's really the Dragon Breath damage that is potentially going to flip this matchup. Gonna go for another Octazooka here, and they let that one through, and I get the debuff here. So I'm able to regain switch, which is pretty huge because Venusaur is going to wall off the energy from the Alolan Golem fairly nicely. They actually bring out their own Kingdra here. Totally fine by me. Gonna bring out my Charizard. I get to this Dragon Claw before the Kingdra can get to a move. That's great. Charizard is dead weight against the Alolan Golem. So I'm just staying here, forcing them to throw their energy. I'm one wing attack from an Octazooka. I barely live this, but I actually swap here because I don't want to get Dragon Breath down. Out comes their Golem. All I have to do here is leave this with a Frenzy Plant stored. This Golem is most likely just going to hit me with Rock Blast, which as you can see really doesn't do that much damage. Going to get hit by another one here. And then I think I'm one Vine Whip away from having back-to-back moves. There it is. I have back-to-back Frenzies. The Kingdra is still slightly out of range of Frenzy, I believe. I hit it with one Dragon Claw. Yep, but I'm going to be able to Vine Whip this down and come back from a very hard counter lead. Good game. Charizard into Clefable. This is good for me. But what I have found... Okay, my opponent switches out, so I have to chip this with a Dragon Claw. What I found with Charmer leads is that you can't go straight Blast Burn. It's actually somewhat base dependent in the 2-shield, that is. So I'm going to chip it, and then I'm going to bring out my Venusaur here. I shield the Outrage. That's good for me. There is a case to be made. The thing is that I don't think Charizard technically can cleanly beat Kingdra, so I just had to get some chip damage off and make sure that I still have alignment. Out comes Typhlosion. I'm being very careful on my timing of these charge moves to not allow an entire Incinerate through. I got the shield back. That's great. They even have to throw energy here because I would have gone to another Sludge. So totally fine by me. I now can align my Kingdra with the Typhlosion. Out comes the Clefable, but my Charizard took a decent amount of damage from that Kingdra, so this is very scary. I go straight for the Blast Burn, because if a bait fails, it's extremely devastating, and the Blast Burn lands. That's really good for me. I'm actually going to go for kind of a wild play here. I let this go through, and I'm just going to Dragon Breath down. Because I want energy to threaten their Typhlosion, and I don't want their Typhlosion to farm my Charizard down. I call the Blast Burn bait, and this solidifies the game from here on out. If it's a Solar Beam there, I lose. But I call the Blast Burn, and I get the debuff. The debuff doesn't really matter, because I was going to be able to get to this Octazooka anyways. But calling the Blast Burn bait there definitely was the thing that sealed the deal there. Good game. Also, they must have had an extremely XL Clefable because that Blast Burn did not do that much. Okay, Obamasnow, this is a fairly neutral lead, but they immediately switch out. And I'm going to go into Kingdra here. The nice thing about having Kingdra and Venusaur in the back is that they both handle water types fairly well. But I definitely cannot bring Venusaur onto Slowbro. That psychic damage would be hitting for super effective. I'm farming a lot here. I know it takes 5 confusions to get to psychic, so I farm as much as possible. I anticipated the no shield, so I just went for the Outrage. And I'm just going to go for an Outrage on this Obamasnow as well. If they shield it, that's fine. I know they're going to get a lot of farm here, though, which is not ideal. But if I go for Octazooka and they don't shield and I don't get a debuff, I'm in a terrible spot. So I bring out Charizard. I'm going to get hit with a lot of energy here, unfortunately. In the back is Politoed. I make an immediate swap. And I throw this Frenzy Plant soon because I want to see whether or not they're going to shield this. And they let it go. They don't even get to a move. Really good for me. They can't farm me all the way down. I live a Weather Ball easily. I just need to get to a Sludge Bomb. to threaten their last shield. But at this point, I know that even if they let this go through, I just fast move them down with Charizard. So fine by me. I'm not sure if they were intentionally maybe trying to concede the game there or calling my bait, but honestly, just straight Frenzy Plant there. Totally fine. And I think I even no-shield this because I know that I can live, and I can wing attack this down and take that game. Good game. Terrible lead. So we're going to say swap the Kingdra, and yikes, a freaking Ferrothorn. This is not great. I'm hitting resisted damage the entire time, and they're hitting for neutral. But I'm going to shield this Power Whip and go straight for the Octazooka here and see if I can get a debuff and potentially try to flip this match. I get a debuff, but I don't get a shield. That's okay with me. Things are still looking okay. Power Whip is definitely going to do a lot more damage than my Octazooka, and I get outpaced here. I'm building up to the Outrage still to try to bluff that this could be an Outrage. It would obviously hit for much more damage. I get 2 attack debuffs. I know Kingdra can be very frustrating to go against because the Octazooka debuff is a 50% chance for a 2-stage drop. It's kind of a broken move, but I lose switch there, but that's fine because I'm going to go for the craziest farm down ever with this Charizard. This Ferrothorn is quadruple debuffed. Flash Cannon does nothing. Out comes Swampert. I have a lot of energy. Gonna go straight for the Blast Burn here. I know they're not gonna shield. And then I instant swap. And it is a Powder Snow Ninetales in the back. Kind of scary. But I do know that I live a Weather Ball. And I want to see what they want to do here. I'm just gonna go straight for the Sludge on this. I'm farming up a lot. They can't farm me down without getting hit by a move. They let that through. They're in Frenzy Plant range at this point. So I either get the final shield here, or they let it go. They let it go. And this Vine Whip damage on the Swampert is really good for me. At this point, I just tap him down, shield whatever this is, and one more wing attack should do the trick. There we go. Good game. Able to come back from that really tough lead. Even though I didn't regain swap, I was able to set my Charizard up for a pretty nice farm there. Lapras lead is not great. Gonna say swap the Kingdra. They're staying in. Oh man, out comes a Charmer. Charmers are probably the one thing that absolutely shut down Kingdra. It's actually arguably worse when you get the attack debuff because then they get more farm. But I have 2 options here. I know that they have a Lapras, so Charizard is the better response here. But this Clefable is so dang bulky. I'm going to let the Moonblast through. I can't really farm this all the way down. This is brutal. I'm going to throw the Dragon Claw here. It's not enough to take it out, but hopefully 1 wing attack will do the trick. 2 wing attacks? Okay. If the Lapras comes out, which it does, I know it has loaded energy. So I just throw the Blast Burn immediately. They let it go through. I can't switch out. This sucks. I try to get out of there. I'm going to shield my Charizard and make a swap and see what they have in the back. This is terrible. This was hard counter city, unfortunately. They had a Charmer to shut down the Kingdra, and I wasn't able to... they had a Fire type in the back as well, so if I'm not able to regain that alignment or get a shield advantage, there's just no hope. So good game to my opponent. Very tough team comp for me to deal with. Jellicent, oh my gosh. So I'm just going to safe swap the Kingdra. It's a bubble Jellicent, and then hard punished by a Alolan Ninetales. This is really tough. All these XL Pokemon are very, very strong. Alolan Ninetales is a great response to Kingdra. Even running Powder Snow, this is still very favorable for the Ninetales. The worst part about this is that they're going to be able to get a huge farm off of my Kingdra and then have energy to threaten my Charizard. They're running Bubble on their Jellicent, so it's going to do less fast move damage against my Venusaur, but more fast move damage against my Charizard. I have to bring out Charizard, farm as much as I can. I don't even get a wing attack through there. Feels bad. Feels really bad. They don't get to a third one. I'm just going to insta-swap. In the back is a Shadow Machamp, so I have a chance here. Venusaur has to do all the heavy lifting here. Are they baiting me? They were. so I no shield it. That puts me even further ahead in this matchup. But my opponent's going to go straight cross chop. That's totally fine. Because I no shielded one of the cross chops, that allows me to cleanly win this matchup, but I also want some stored energy to threaten that Jellicent. They double shield, makes sense. CMP tie right here, unfortunate, but I know the counters are going to be doing more damage than the bubbles. So I'm going to take out this Machamp. I have to try to catch on my Charizard here and avoid getting hit by a move. Right there, able to successfully catch. Was it the Shadow Ball? No, it was the Bubble Beam. And I over tap and don't get to the Dragon Claw. But I'm able to get to the Frenzy Plant. Is this enough? Is this enough? It's not enough, but the Vine Whips take it. Insanely close game. Very good game to my opponent. Okay, this battle's up against Sodium Hue, and he runs the same team. He's been running the same team for 4 seasons now. It's Skarmory, Kingdra, Swampert. And so I know that because I battle him a lot. He also does the same thing in Great League. He runs the same team over and over and over again, never changes. So I make a call here, and it is the wrong call. That is a Brave Bird, folks. Terrible for me. And then most likely he's going to save this. This is so bad for me. This is so bad. I'm going to go straight for the Outrage because I know that I outpace this thing. But if my Venusaur has to see that Skarmory, I'm in a world of hurt. They let it go. What does he bring out? He brings out Skarmory. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I just have to stay in here, double shield, do as much chip damage as possible. I know there's a Swampert in the back. And so if I can just get my Venusaur squared up against that, that's great. I really need a debuff here. I get it, but they're going to be able to pretty much farm me down anyways, which is actually worse because they got more farm. They clear their debuff though. So I need to have maximum energy coming out of this matchup. I have to save the shield for the move from the Skarmory. Farming, farming, farming. Can't get hit by a Hydro. Going to throw right here. The Skarm is low, so I need to get to back-to-back frenzies here. I can't Vine Whip it down. I'm at back-to-back right here. I will throw one. This was not a CMP tie, and Venusaur does win CMP, so I will be able to get my move through. Oh, it was a CMP tie. But this next one potentially could also be a CMP tie, and I will win that tie there. Even though I fumbled the opening pretty hard, still able to come back from that and take that game there. Good game. All right, last battle here. Alolan Ninetales. We'll see what the moveset is. It's Powder Snow. Not great for me. This is actually really not good, and I need to get a little bit more brave with my shield baits. But in general, I don't really like to bait unless I absolutely have to. But this is a matchup where if you want to win it, which you kind of need to, you need to bait. You need to successfully bait because you can't keep up the pace if you don't successfully bait. Like, I'm not even going to be able to get to a Blast Burn here, so I recognize that, and I catch on my Kingdra. This is not a favorable matchup for Kingdra at all, but I needed to preserve the Charizard to have any hopes of taking this thing out, but this is brutal. This Alolan Ninetales is just absolutely destroying all my Pokemon. It's brutal. They let it go through. I do get the debuff, but again, it doesn't really matter. They have a lot of stored energy still. I have a Dragon Claw loaded, so I think I'm going to do one wing attack and then throw my Dragon Claw. This should be barely enough to take it out. I need double water in the back. I need a miracle in the back. There's one water, and it's a Shadow Machamp. Okay. There's play here. I need to correctly call the Rock Slide. I do correctly call the Rock Slide, and now this is going to allow me to get both of these frenzies off before the Machamp can get to a Rock Slide. I think they let it go, which was actually a pretty smart move on their part. But I need to get to this frenzy before they get to their big move. weeks, and I'm able to get there and take that game even with that tough lead. So thank you all so much for watching. Once again, feel free to tune into my live stream. It starts at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time today. It's going to be a lot of fun. This team is a lot of fun, pretty well-rounded. Kingdra is still a pretty solid safe swap, and Wing Attack Charizard is a lot of fun to run. So if you all enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.